I think Paul Ryan is a wussy with a capital P. I also think that Donald Trump would have taken this and run with it if he could have gotten this thing passed. I don't think he really thought that much of it. And I think right now they want Paul Ryan to hold the bag. I, as a conservative, as someone who voted for Republicans, when they said repeal, I thought they meant repeal. Apparently, there was a miscommunication.
Common mistake, yeah.
So, I can't stand Paul Ryan, but I can't stand Donald Trump for being complicit Paul Ryan for when it's convenient and then it's not convenient. So I'm just going to tell you, I'm not on the Trump train. I'm not on the Paul Ryan train. I think that the swamp it has a lot of Famunda cheese right now.
It sucks. It sucks.
It sucks. Am I the only one who has that read on it? So we were talking about this, and who else to answer on this on cable news but Bernie Sanders, who, in a rare moment of sincerity, admitted that Obamacare has been a disaster, but his proposal is, well, take a guess.
Of course, Obamacare has serious problems. Deductibles are too high. Premiums are too high. The cost of health care is going up at a much faster rate than it should. Ideally, where we should be going is to join the rest of the industrialized world and guarantee health care to all people as a right. And that's why I'm going to introduce a Medicare for All single-payer program. Short term, this is what we can do.
Apologies to whoever guessed competition and more privatized programming.
Free markets?
No. It's just amazing to me. He says that, listen, the Affordable Care Act is broken. Big government has created a problem here. And the solution is an entirely broken system through Medicare, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's like, this is what Bernie Sanders does. He talks about how student loans are too high. Therefore, more free college.
Right? Like, how does that fix anything?
That's like we're sitting there going, not enough Americans have lawnmowers. In my America, every garage will have a John Deere. And too many Americans are taking public transit. For everyone a Fiat. You want a Pacer? You'll get a Gremlin.
That's terrible.
He just wants to promise Medicare for all. So listen, he's right. Premiums have gone up about 22% in 1 year, from 2016 to 2017. Now, when I first read that too, I thought it was low. 22% over 8 states, it went up 30%. But that's 1 year. That's 2016 to 2017. You add that up year over year since the Affordable Care Act has been passed. You have people paying hundreds of percentage points more than they were before. Deductibles on average are $6,000 per individual right now, $12,000 per family, which was completely unheard of before the ironically named Affordable Care Act. And the solution from Bernie Sanders, and I know people like him because they think he's sweet and he's genuine versus Hillary Clinton, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there. But his solution is Medicare. Medicare for all, which is an entirely broken system. I'll continue to get into that. But a liberal think tank estimated that Bernie Sanders' proposed plan would add $32 trillion in federal spending over the next 10 years. This isn't the Heritage Foundation. This isn't coming from Fox News. This is coming from a leftist think tank. This is the best case scenario. Medicare at this point, by the way, is basically already insolvent. If you look at the CBO reports, they plan for it to be completely insolvent, well, now. And so people are trumpeting, Obamacare saved Medicare is what they say. Well, really, there's a clever accounting trick because Medicare is still on the brink of insolvency, as seen in the real world practice of Medicare since the Affordable Care Act is that fewer doctors than ever in the history of the United States are willing to take Medicare. 1 in 5 doctors flat out will refuse any new patients who use Medicare at all. And this idea of Medicare for all is based on we need to get with the industrialized world with single payer healthcare, right? Well, I come from a single payer healthcare system. Take a guess why we left. Now I get that's anecdotal. So let's get to the statistics. First off, keep in mind that none of these other countries have to fund national defense effectively for the entire industrialized free world.
That's us.
And their taxes are the kind of taxes that you would complain about if you ever had to pay 52% income tax, like people have to pay the marginal tax rates in Quebec, you'd have riots in the streets. So let's keep that in mind. But let's just get to some quantifiable statistics. Wait times. Well, my home province of Quebec, if you look at the wait times for people who claim or people who have waited over 5 hours in an emergency room, keep that up there. That's 35% of people who go to an emergency room in Quebec. That's better than the national average in Canada at 19%. Now, you look at those numbers. United States is effectively the best on that list. And let me tell you why. That's because the United States has a 5% amount of people who've waited for 5 hours or more. Now, Germany has that, as does the UK, the Netherlands. But if you add up all of the other countries that have 5% of that kind of a wait time, cumulatively, the average of those countries is 1/10 the population of the United States. And the Netherlands, by the way, a third of their entire citizenry are privately insured anyway.
Jeez.
So keep that in mind. It's not even close, let alone Canada having 1/10 of the population. 1/10 the population, and their basically wait times are better in the United States than anywhere else. Quality of care. Well, listen. They use the best technology. They have the best technology. Most medical research is coming out of the United States. Not only most medical research coming out of the United States, but they're the ones who are actually able to use it and actually make it more affordable to the most amount of people in their countries. Just for an example, where I come from in Canada, in the United States, we have 9 times per capita. 9 times. I don't remember him being absent 9 times. 9 times the MRI machines. Grace! 9 times the MRI machines per person of Canada. Your rate of dying from breast cancer, prostate cancer, pick your cancer, can be up to 2 times the amount in New Zealand or the UK, Germany, depending on which kind of a cancer it is. Basically, your best chance of surviving a terminal illness is being in the United States. And that's across the board. That's across the entire economic spectrum. And Bernie Sanders likes to act as though there's classism here in the United States and there's equality. There's equality amongst the crappy care in these other countries, right? First off, you're taking Norwegian countries, you're taking countries with 1/10 of the population, an entirely homogenous population, and the care sucks. But the argument is at least everyone gets sucky care. But that's not even the case, as you see with Canada, as they start to open it to privatized system. What ends up happening when you have privatized healthcare along with a socialized healthcare? Only the super wealthy get to go to, in Canada, what they now call super hospitals, or as we know them in the United States, hospitals, where they can get the decent care, and everyone else gets put in a line 12 months for an MRI. So let's go with that, Bernie Sanders. It's the compassionate thing to do. Hey, if you like this video, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. It's in a circle now. It used to be a square, which most buttons aren't squares. Unless it's on a phone. There's square buttons on phones, but most buttons are circles. You understand what I'm talking about. Or watch the recommended video, which is popping up in a box, or subscribe at louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub. Join the Mug Club so you can get the daily show. And that means that you are not beholden to the YouTube censoring overlords. So let's be honest. You like being there where you are, under their thumb. Power bottom you.